Hey, welcome to my channel where I talk about dolls, and that's literally it. And in this video, I'm going to be unboxing the Maplelea and Me doll that Maplelea let me design. And if that sounds crazy to you, imagine how it's been for me. So first I'm going to unbox the doll. I'll explain what I chose and, like the designs I chose. And then I'll redress her in a few outfits because she's going to have her own little wardrobe, of course. She's going to be a special doll to me. And as I redress her, I'll explain how it all came about, like the process of being asked to do this and what it was on my side of the experience. I can't say exactly what their side of it was, just know what I went through on the being asked side of it. And I think I've waited long enough to open this doll, to have this doll. So let me just jump right in. And one thing I want to explain before I get to the actual doll is that there's a video that I uploaded in the middle of March that's going to come up a lot, and it was called something like An Actual Doll Dream Came True, where I opened five of my Maplelea Grail dolls all at once. I bought them from one person, and then at the end of that video, they now I understand. So they've kind of sealed her up so that I can react to her. I go to pick up in store, so usually they don't even have to box up a doll like this, but I was being a little extra this time and asked them to pack her separately, and then I could, okay. You know what? Okay. I'll explain that a little bit better, but they went a little bit farther, and they even, isn't that nice? I'm going to try not to be real corny when I'm going through this, but they put a little note and stuff inside there. So that's really nice. And if it's not too weird, or like if it's not too personal, I'll read it after. But okay, so anyway, when I went to pick her up, they did disappear for a while, and now I know why. So that's what I was going to get to. And so yeah, okay, so it's a card, not just a letter. Okay, I wasn't expecting that, so now I'm kind of threw off my whole vibe of how I was feeling about I was going to unbox her. Okay, that was very sweet. I took a moment to regroup just because it was like, I'm already excited, right? So, and I'm not just excited to see the doll, but I'm also excited to explain everything to you. So I don't know if I should cut it or just kind of pull it off nicely. Yeah, I guess I'll just cut it. So if anybody at Maplelea sees this video, and there's a chance they will, which I'll explain as I go through this process of redressing her, then they'll see how awkward I probably got. So the nice little Maplelea stickers, in case you didn't get to see those, let me bring this close now that there's no ribbon on there. Maybe I should have brought it forth, but threw me off my game. I'm letting you see her before I even see her. I'm looking on the monitor. Okay, now, in case you haven't figured it out or seen, she is so pretty, and obviously I'm going to be a little biased here. Oh, so they've changed a little bit of the box. So there's no longer there used to be like a card that slips up and down, but now it's just printed straight on. Oh, the magnet. Oh, it's not a magnet anymore. I'm telling you, I've opened a lot of Maplelea and Me boxes, but this is a new box. That's why I like this. You know what? I wonder if it's going to, because they were getting damaged in the mail a lot in the shipping. So this is my girl. Let me bring her back. It's KMF57. I don't think I've even said that yet because I knew I was going to be a little wacky in this video to begin with. Isn't she so pretty? Okay, now as I take her out of the box, I can explain what she's made up of, in case it's not obvious. Just give me a second as I figure out this new box. Literally my doll, you know what I'm saying? There's some tape on the back, so maybe I'll cut that off. And as I was cutting off the tape, I realized I was probably really rude and didn't thank Maplelea for including other stuff. That was really nice. Anyway, so now that I've gotten that out of the way, I'm anxious to see this doll. So yeah, what I chose it's probably obvious, especially if you know me and have seen my other videos about Maplelea. If given the opportunity, I would always, maybe not always, but I definitely would first choose the black Canadian mold. And those are the 6 versions of her of that doll behind me. And so I chose the black Canadian doll mold, and I asked for medium skin tone, long dark hair parted down the middle, straight, but she's got a little bit of a loose curl, and of course freckles. And I'm just really eager to get her out so I can show you exactly how cute she is. I had to cut away because I was becoming a little feral trying to get her out. It's like I've been anxiously awaiting this doll for so long that didn't want any twist ties to get in my way any longer. Waiting long enough. But I have had a moment to stare at her beautiful face, and I made the right choices. Biased, but I understand. But of course. Okay, so I've noticed that well, maybe it's just the lighting right now, but the shoes seem a little bit of a different, like there's a little bit more navy, more indigo. Just pointing out any little differences because I've opened so many that I'm of course going to see everything. Isn't she so pretty? What a little precious face. Okay, so now I think I've explained the doll I chose, and showing a little bit of my excitement that I can try to calm down a little bit and go back and tell you how this all came about. And I relate it to the video that I already mentioned when I unboxed 5 Grail level dolls for me. And then at the end of that so at the end of showing all those dolls, the Grail dolls, I also showed a few customs and just a few other random things. But it's just the customs and the Grail dolls that really matter for this story. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so that was at the middle of March. And then at the end of March, Catherine emailed me to say that they were something to the effect of they were about to send out an email to their subscribers, their email subscribers, asking to vote on I think they could vote up to 3 or 4 dolls. They would send maybe a roster of 12 dolls or so that they could vote on their top 3 for the next Maplelea wave, which have now started to come out as I'm unboxing this as we speak. So she said to me, because I had made a couple customs in that video that I just mentioned, the actual doll dream came true. Could I send pictures of the 2 dolls that she asked for 2 specific dolls, and so that they could put those as options for people to vote on in the email that they were sending out. And at the end of the email, she said something like, "And for fun, give me 1 or 2 dolls that would be like your dream combination of dolls to make a Maplelea and me doll." And I was also going up there to pick up some dolls that day, as I normally do. I'm always up there, or maybe I was picking up something, but I'm always up there picking up something. And so I just thought, okay, I'm about to go up and pick up an order, so I'll talk to her about it when I get up there if she's in that day. And just so you know, I'm going to put her in she's going to be a Toronto girl, obviously, because I'm from Toronto. And so she's part of Alexi's world. I'm just going to try her on a couple of Alexi's outfits. This one is the Love and Peace outfit, I think it's called. And then I'm going to try it with her stargazer accessories over here. In case you're wondering, I'm just going to be really distracted. And first things first, she'll need a pair of underwear. These are Leonis, but I have a few pairs of them. So I was going up there that day. And so when I got up there, she asked me about the specific dolls to send. And she kind of gave me the criteria of like how to send it, like what kind of picture to take, make sure, this is important for the story. I'm just blabbing because I'm excited. So then when I was there, I was like, oh yeah, no problem. Of course, I'll do it when I get home. And she said, also, is there a doll that you would call, or said something to the effect of, what would be your dream doll or your Grail doll, as you call it? And I was like, I thought she meant you, as in collectors call Grail dolls. It didn't hit me in that moment that she was asking because of all the Grails that I had opened a couple weeks earlier. And so I think at one point there was a conversation with some other people who worked there, and I said, oh, did you see that video where I opened up all those Grails? And somebody said, yeah, it was a really nice video. So I'm thinking this is where it all kind of began, where they're like, oh, he really likes these dolls. What if we could like come up with a doll that would be an even bigger Grail? I'm just, because I didn't ask why they were out. I'm jumping all over the place, see? So while I was there, she was saying, what was the Grail or what would be an ideal doll for you? And I feel like she said something that sounded like, whatever your dream doll is, we'll make it. That's how my brain was taking it. But have you ever been in a situation like where someone says to you, hey, would you like to have this? And then you, thinking that they're offering it to you, are just like, oh, thank you so much. I love it. I've always loved this. And then they're like, I wasn't asking if you could have it. I wasn't saying you could have it. I was asking if you would like to have it. And then you're just like embarrassed for the next week, thinking like, oh wow, did they word it weird, or am I just that greedy? You know what I mean? Like, we've all been in that awkward and uncomfortable situation where we think someone's offering us something, and then like your brain gets excited. At least that's how I am. So maybe I'm the greedy one here, and not everybody else has had that experience. But I had that sort of experience at Maplelea a few weeks before that, which I talked about in that actual dream doll video, Dream Came True. When I said that I was there and I was talking about some dolls that I was talking about the dolls that I like, like the certain aesthetic, black hair, brown eyes. And then one of the girls went into the back. She came out. She's like, "Oh, you would love this doll then," which is a doll that was on the top of my wish list. The Truly Me 30, Truly Me, the Maplelea Me 30 doll. And so when she brought it out, I thought she was, for a split second, I just thought, oh wow, they have a truly, I keep saying truly me all of a sudden. They have a Maplelea Me 30 for sale. That's amazing. And I was like, yes, she's at the top of my list. And so she was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I can't sell you this. I was just showing you a doll you might like. This is actually one of our spa dolls. So that's where I feel like I already had that moment of, oh, me and my greedy, my brain getting excited. So when Catherine was saying to me, what would be your dream doll to make? I was like, okay, I don't think she's asking me because she's just going to make a doll that I request. So then I was like, okay, don't be too greedy. And I was walking back and forth along the dolls because they had all these test dolls at the time, all these test heads, and I was just, Catherine must have been so annoyed. But I was like, I think people would really like if you did a doll like this. And she was like, no, 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 I'm not asking you what you think other people would like. I'm asking you, what doll would you like? And I'm like, oh, well, I would like a lot of dolls. But I know from what people say in my comments on my videos, what they like is this. And Catherine was like, Blaine, I'm asking you what you specifically would like. And I just kept like in my excitement and going like, oh no, don't read into it because you're just being greedy again. You're just getting excited over dolls because you do that. So she finally turned to someone behind her and said, I think I just have to tell him. And she was like, and I think she wanted to surprise me, but I made it impossible because I was just being so weird about the whole thing. So this is, again, my interpretation of how the situation went down. Maybe I'm just, paranoid right in my own head. And so she turned to one of the girls behind her and said, I guess I should just tell him. And she said, if you tell me a doll, like a dream combination for you, then I was thinking maybe one year or one day, maybe I'll make it. And because I knew she was about to send out that survey for the dolls that people could vote on, I was like, oh, maybe she'll put this in a vote. If I say my dream combination, I hadn't said it was this yet, but I said, if I say my dream combination, maybe she'll put it on the votes. And then I think I said, is that what you mean? And she was kind of like, yeah, like just giving up, you know what I mean? Like, this guy is dense and I'm starting to wonder if it's on purpose. But really, it was me just trying to control myself from not getting too excited because it was like, it sounded like it was going that way, but then, when you get your expectations up, you are just, it's like you're convincing yourself. And I was like, no, there's no way they're just going to make a doll for their KMF line just because I would like it. You know what I mean? So I was trying to tell myself, Blaine, calm down. That's not what it is. You're just too excited about dolls. Should I bring her back now? Yeah. So I think because she was trying to surprise me, she was walking it back a little bit by saying, yeah, if just tell me what you would be your dream combination. And then I will, I think she said something to make me think that, yeah, it's not for sure. I will one day put your dream doll up for a vote. And I was still humming and hawing and like staring at like the doll, like to point out the features that I would want. And then I finally got it through my head that, oh, she is asking me. I know it sounds so clear to you. She's asking me what I want and I should just tell her. So then I walked over to, like I said, the test heads. Oh, this is a nice look. Maybe I should keep her in like this for a while. But I already have an outfit planned. So then I walked over and I said, okay, this doll. And then, I just listed everything I did for you. And she's like, okay, the medium tone, black Canadian mole doll, freckles. And she just picked up one of the dolls and was like, done. As in like, she was going to, put in those stats for, I guess, one of the dolls to, I didn't know, she was taking it aside. So I was like, maybe she's taking it as a reminder. And then when the email comes out, the poll that we could vote on, then maybe I will see it in there. And if not, then it's not going to be this year. It's kind of how I was, I guess, either understanding it or telling myself not to get too excited. She'll just hold them. I want to see her eyes anyway. So that was from what I remember, that was kind of how the first day ended. So this is the end of March. I think it was like March 26th. It was like 2 weeks after I uploaded that video about all my grails. So then when that email came out with the voting, with the polls for the dolls you can vote on, I noticed that this doll wasn't on there. So I was like, oh, they didn't get her. They must not have gotten her set up in time, gotten a graphic made, or, like they mustn't have had enough time to get her on the polls this year, so maybe next year I'm gonna have to wait. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to wait. And then, I was explaining the situation to my partner because poor him, having to listen to me talk about dolls all the time. He was like, no, I don't think that they're going to make a poll. She said, and then, he said what she said to me. And I was like, so you think they're just going to make it without even seeing if other people would like it? So I decided to get my hopes back up, but in a cautiously optimistic way. Like I had this doll in my head now. So I was like, if they're going to make her, they're going to make her. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next outfit before I get to this next little segment. It's not a Maplelea outfit. It's a handmade outfit that is by a clothing maker I've shown in here many times. So it's just, if you're looking at it, she usually makes things for American Girl dolls, and she also makes shoes for the outfits for the American Girls. And I said, would you ever consider making a pair of Toms for Maplelea in a future order? And she said, yeah, I'll think about it one day. I'm sure that wouldn't be too hard. I think she has, she has a couple Maplelea dolls to try them on. And then when I bought the next outfit, she surprised me with a pair of Maplelea shaped Toms, because I had put a pair of American Girl Toms on my Maplelea doll, and they just didn't fit. I mean, they fit, but the foot was like stretching out because they're a very different foot size. If you want to see what I mean, here is an American Girl wearing one of these types of outfits, wearing these shoes. So as you can see, this wide, short shoe just doesn't fit nicely for a Maplelea doll. But the outfits are cute, and I literally have like a Maplelea. I'm saying Maplelea version because I got it for a Maplelea doll, but it's still, they all fit each other's clothes. So then after some time passed, I would, I don't remember if I was trying to, I think I was trying to hint at, because another thing she said when she was saying that they would do a doll, whatever doll I wanted, they would just put it, when she was basically saying to my flat out that what doll do I want, they're going to make it. And I think Catherine said, I would even be okay to call it the Blaine doll. And I was like, ew, don't call it that. I was like, I don't want people wondering. I don't mind if you all know that this doll is like a doll I designed, as in like, chose. But I wouldn't want other collectors to be like, ew, what's a Blaine doll? Why does this doll have such a weird name? So that's what I meant by like, ew, don't call her that. Like, don't officially call her that. So as time passes, now I can go back to the story because I missed that one. I forgot that one little part. Sometimes I would kind of casually bring it up, and I would say to Catherine, oh, how are all the dolls coming along? Are they, how many were made? Who won the vote? Things like that. And I'd be like, is the doll that I made going to be on there? She's like, I don't know. So I think she was trying to make it obvious, but because I was so afraid to get my hopes up, listen, I'm a doll collector, and this was really exciting for me. So I was afraid to just totally like accept that she was coming until like I could see her in person, and not in hand, but at least see some kind of test coming in, because I was there. I've been there a lot over the last few months and talked about it. So now you all know what I've been like hiding. I don't remember how many months passed before I finally started to see some of the test dolls come in. One day, I remember when I was there picking up an order, I saw a head of short curly red hair, like a boy doll that I knew was on the votes. So I was there one day, and the shirt should be on first. And I said, oh, is that one of the new dolls? One of the upcoming Maplelea and Me dolls? And I don't remember if it was Catherine, but because I've been there so many times and been through the different versions of the scenario so many times. And another thing I should explain is when I'm there, Catherine has this little dog, a little Shih Tzu, like a Shih Tzu. I think he's mostly a Shih Tzu. And he is a boy, so he's extremely affectionate and loves attention, because it's how boy dogs are in my experience. So when I'm there, he wants to be up in my arms the whole time I'm there. If we're talking about dolls for an hour, I'm holding her dog for an hour, and he's, because he's the sweetest little thing, he's obviously a very trusting dog, because when I hold him, that dog goes dead weight in my arms. And this little, the dog may be this big, but he turns into like 100 pounds when I'm holding him. And he melts. There are times that I'm like, what is this over here? Is this your rib cage? How did your rib cage get over here? He's panting. He's so hot, but he likes it. He likes affection so much that it doesn't bother him. He doesn't like want to be put down on the ground. And so when I'm there, I often can't touch anything, like any of the dolls or the new outfits or anything like that, because I'm holding the dog because I don't want to put him on the ground, because some of you may have figured out I'm a bit of a softie when it comes to animals. And if he likes to be picked up, then of course I'm going to pick him up, because I'd feel bad. And you need to understand this about the day that I was there and I saw the little red-haired boy. He was in there was this, it was like a shopping cart, some kind of metal shopping cart looking thing that there were a bunch of dolls in that I didn't recognize. Well, I knew that they were new, not that I didn't recognize them. I fully recognized them because first I saw the red-haired boy. Maybe she'll have to wear this for a while. I can't decide on her what's going to be her little meat outfit. This is really cute for her. I'm allowed to get distracted because like I said, I've been waiting forever. So let me bring her forward and you can sort of weigh in on what you think looks best. So as I'm looking at this cart, I see the red-haired boy, and then I see those of you who have seen the new dolls, the ones that are either there or on their way in. I saw the red-haired boy, maybe the red-haired girl, and for sure I saw the black boy with the short curly hair. So I saw him, but I can't touch any of them. I can't move them around. I see like a pile, and then I see what looks like this. So I see hair like this and the medium skin tone, but she's face down. And I've got this dog who's turned into 100 pounds in my arms, and I'm like trying to bend down and look. I'm like, is it her? Does she have freckles? Is she my girl? And so that day I didn't get to see her, but I was pretty certain it was her. And I was like, was it really her? Or am I just convincing myself because I want it to be true so bad? And then it was the next time that I was back that I think they had, there were a lot of visits. So I'm not too certain which one was which, but one day I was back. one of many days I was back, and I don't think she was, she might have been in the cart still, but she was turned over, and I was like, it's her, they made her. And I said, she's with the other Maplelea Me dolls, test dolls, or, the samples or whatever it was that they had at the time. So clearly she is coming out with this wave of dolls. I'm not gonna have to wait another year. And Catherine was surprising me, but in a very obvious way, but because I'm so silly, I was afraid to believe it. And so the last outfit I'm going to put her in is a new outfit this is one of the outfits, I've already unboxed this on here very recently because it's a new release outfit, that when I saw it on Alexi, I was like, oh, that's going on this doll. And so I've had this outfit in my head for a very long time, but I'm going to have to change her up a lot because so far she's looking perfect in everything. Biased? Yes. And regardless, even though I could see her, there was still going to be, I still had this little bit of fit of denial going on that, maybe it's just a sample for next year. They got a sample so that they could put her in the next poll. Like, I'm telling you, so stupid. And so I don't remember I think it was actually pretty recently that I was there, and I was there alone with someone who, made such a big deal putting on her underwear and they're already falling off. They're already coming off with their outfits. So I was there with just one other person who I was trying to be a little bit sneaky because I was like, I don't think she knows that Catherine has been toying with me about the doll, saying like, oh, we don't know if she's going to come out this year, but we just, we see what she looks like and she is really cute, but I don't know if she's going to make the cut. And so one day I was there with one person and Catherine wasn't there for us to overhear. So I was like, oh, so I see my doll you've been using my doll for some of the photo shoots, right? And so the girl said, yeah. And she was like, just so you know, we actually call her the Blaine doll. So just know that if you're into KM57, if you like KMF57 and you get her, you're getting the Blaine doll. But only you can know that. No other Maplelea collectors. So at that point, I think then I was like, oh, okay, so she is coming out because the girl I was with, I'm not going to say names, because I was a little sneaky. I just had to know, even though I think any rational human being would have known by now, like, get over it, Blaine. Obviously, they're making this doll. But I was just so scared that she wasn't going to get made that I would constantly worry if she was or not, or like what the status was. And then the big moment happened. They started posting new outfits on their website, and they were using her to model some of the new outfits. And so people, their collectors, like in social media spaces, were seeing her and talking about her and posting pictures about her. And I went radio silent because I was just like, oh my God, they like my doll. Because everybody's talking how cute she is, and she is. So that was another sort of monumental moment in it where I was like I was biting my tongue so hard. Like I didn't want to be in any of the Facebook groups or anything like that because it was like, it's like I just wanted to shout out to everybody, that's my doll. I made her happen. Well, I didn't make her happen because here's the thing. It's not like I asked, can I design a doll? Catherine volunteered for whatever reason. And so that's where I was getting to before when I said that it was after, I don't know if I made this clear. I probably did, but I've been talking in circles this whole time. That it was shortly after that video where I was talking about, and they would have seen my excitement. And it's not just the excitement in that video that I showed when I was opening all those grails. The excitement that when I go there and they have anything new, because some of you will already know that I've been in there when they've had other items like new outfits and little pieces, not just dolls that were in the works. And I'm there, and I have a lot of Maplelea stuff, and I'm excited about it. So they would ask me, "Oh, what's your opinion of this?" And they're just watching me lose my mind in excitement the whole time I'm there. So I just think that they were probably like, "Oh, he really likes our products." So I think that lent a little bit too. Like, oh, imagine we made him a doll or something. Because another thing when I'm there is Catherine will ask me like, what kind of clothes would I like to see? And not just because I'm always there showing my excitement, because I'm a collector, and I think that she would want the opinion of any collectors, and I think they do listen to people's suggestions. Like no matter how many dolls you have or how many outfits you have, I think they're excited to get ideas from other people. But I think most of the things I suggested were already in the works. So as I was saying them, they were kind of like glancing at each other, like, "Oh yeah, you'll be good next fall when all this new stuff starts to drop." And so that's where I think, see, people, if you're listening to this and wondering, well, why didn't you ask why why they wanted to make a doll to your taste? It's because when I'm there, I'm so overstimulated by all the new products. I'm talking about, dolls. I'm holding this little furry guy in my arms, and just walking around looking at all the stuff. And also when I'm there, because they have all these archives, I'm also trying to figure out some pieces that I have that I don't know what they are, that are did I already say in the archives? I think I did, right? So I'm just trying to like take stock of other things too while I'm there. It's like I'm not always thinking about I'm thinking about me as in how much I love the dolls, but I'm not thinking about, oh, why did you agree to make a doll that I wanted? You know what I mean? That's something that it doesn't occur to me while I'm there to ask that. Like I have so many other things on my mind. Like, when is she coming? When can I have my doll? And another thing about this doll, about the choices I made, to anyone, a lot of you know that I end up having, we all do as collectors, we end up putting a lot of our personal experience into dolls. And so what she means to me, this particular iteration of this doll, is, I'm hoping for other people, she's kind of racially ambiguous. You could put any kind of storyline on her. I'm looking at her and I'm like, oh, I could probably part her hair and make braids, and she'd be like a good Wednesday Addams kind of substitute, because she's got the medium skin tone and the freckles. But for me, I see her as mixed, as in black and white mixed. And I hate to say this because she's a KMF doll and anybody could get a doll that they want and put their own story on her. But for me, that's what I see when I look at her, and why I wanted this. And the reason I wanted her to have straight hair is because my nieces are mixed. They're black and white. And I remember when my oldest niece, my firstborn, and she's the only human I've ever been in the room with when she was born. I remember when she was little, she has curly textured hair because she's half black. And so she used to cry about how she wanted straight hair when she was little. And she used to like beg my sister, her mom, to straighten her hair. And we would all be like, you can't straighten her hair. You're going to ruin her hair. She's so little. But I think because she would cry so much that she wanted straight hair, that my sister would do it for her sometimes, and she would be so happy with her straight hair. I feel so bad as an adult thinking this, because when we were not an adult, I was an adult back then. But now that she's an adult, and I've been able to ask her about it as an adult, at the time I felt so like I didn't want her to hate her curly hair, that I was just like, you shouldn't do that to your hair. You should be happy with the hair you have. And she would get upset, because she was a kid. She was small, and I should have like let a child express themselves. But then something occurred to me as she got older, and it's something I wouldn't understand as a boy, and as someone who's bald. But when she got older, it just occurred to me one day, and I said, when you were little, did it upset you that you didn't have straight hair because you were a girl and you wanted to be just like your mom, and your mom had straight hair? And she was like, yeah. She was like, I regret it now. But now she fully embraces and loves having her curly textured hair. But she realized that looking back as a kid, she wanted to be just like mom, because most little girls do. And she felt really different from her mom because, you know, she took a lot of her genes from her dad. So I just feel like, oh, that was really insensitive of me when you were a little kid. But I get it now. And, you know, her little sister doesn't have the same feelings. She loves her curly hair and she has like curly doll spirals. And I'm not saying this is my niece. I'm just saying the reason I wanted her to be a mixed doll, for me, a mixed character and have straight hair is because it makes me think of my niece and how she was, you know, she would have loved this doll when she was a kid. She would have been so jealous of her, but she would have like probably named her after herself. And I've named her Avery, and I've known this was going to be her name all along. And it's my niece's middle name, not the. So the niece I'm talking about, it's not her. It's her middle name, named after her grandmother. But I like the name. I think it's a cute name, and I like having it associated with my eldest niece because I do have an American Girl custom that I've named after my younger niece who has grown out of dolls. It's a different story, but and my oldest niece doesn't care about dolls at all. I bought her one. She was like, what am I going to do with this? I bought her a doll because she loves Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. And so I got her a doll with a Stitch outfit, one of the Disney Illy Forever dolls. And she was just like, she literally in front of me looked at her, I don't know if it was my sister, and was like, what am I going to do with this? I was like, just put it on a shelf and appreciate the fact that you have a doll in an outfit that you would like. So let me take a little look at this card. And if it makes me corny in any way, I'll cut it out if it seems personal. I don't think it is. I think it's just going to be like something nice. But I'm just saying, if you don't get to read the card, or if you see it in the background, you won't know. Okay, good. Nothing corny. Just so they just thank me for being the creative inspiration behind the doll. And then they let me know she's a gift to me. So even though I bought it as soon as she was available for purchase, I put one through. And they were probably like, why are you buying a doll? We're obviously going to gift it to you. So a credit is, so she's just, anyway, letting me know that I guess I'm going to use that credit to buy one of the other dolls because for the record, thank you very much, by the way, to Maplelea, it's Catherine and team. So thank you all. I love the presentation. I love the fact that you let me make a doll to my taste. And I love the fact that I'm assuming you like my enthusiasm behind the dolls and that I always get a little, what's the word? Overly enthusiastic maybe when I'm there or even talking about them on video, maybe. And obviously I love her. I've been looking forward to her for 7 months, everyone. 7 months I have had this. I've been, when I say hiding it, meaning just dying to talk about it. Oh, and another thing. So not just people in like Facebook groups talking about her, people have making comments about this doll in my videos. And I'm like, I can't speak about her yet. I can't speak about her until I have her in my hands and I can tell you the whole story. So because people have been asking, I saw this new KMF57. Do you like her? Do you plan to get her? And I was like, yes, I like her. I bet her. And I plan to get her. I might even get another one with this credit. I'm just kidding. Maybe. No, there are other dolls first. And so that's what I was about to say is when I put her through with 3 other dolls and a couple outfit pieces that have since shown up. But I wanted this video to be all about her, obviously. And you can see the card as I'm talking. So that's why I will still soon, but it won't be my next video, but I will soon unbox the other 3 girls that I got. It wasn't all of them. It wasn't all the ones that dropped. I think 7 dropped and I got 4 of them. And then I will get 2 more when the boys land in the middle of November and whatever outfits are out by then. So yeah, that's what it is. I'm hoping that a few more outfits can come out before I show the new dolls so that I can piggyback them and show the new outfits on the new dolls and American Girl dolls because I know that's really helpful to people. And I've been excitedly planning this video in my head for so long that there is probably so much more I wanted to say, like another stupid thing that, like, cut this out if it's embarrassing, because I didn't know what her number was going to be. I just thought, I knew she was they were at the 50s, and I was like, well, I hope she's either KMF52 or KMF57, just because 2 has always been my favorite number. Do you have a favorite number from your kid? Like when you watched Sesame Street and your number came on, did you get excited? Because I feel like most kids got excited over a certain number when they were kids. But anyway, 2 was always my favorite number. And 7, as basic as it sounds, has always been a lucky number. So I just thought if she's, she's either going to be 52 or 57. 5 plus 2 equals 7. 7 minus 5 equals 2. So it's just like all these number things. I'm not a numerologist or anything like that. But those have always been lucky numbers for me. And like even where I live now, my apartment, if you play with the numbers, it either equals 7 or 2. So it's like the same kind of thing. And the house where I lived before was the same thing. And I was very lucky there. And anyway, should I cut this out? I'll just leave it all. Who cares? It's near the end of the video anyway. So yeah, I think that is now enough and everything I've had to say about the doll. And I'm sure you'll see a lot more of her background, whatever. My new avatar, profile pic, whatever you call it on YouTube. yeah, I feel satisfied. I think I should cut it here because I've been rambling so long. I can only imagine what this is going to be when I put it all back together. But I'm just excited. And to anyone who watches this, please let me know what you think of her, because I know some of you are already excited for her. So now I'm excited for you to watch this video and tell me what you think of me hiding the secret for so long, 7 months. All right, so thank you once again for hanging out with me in this video, and hopefully I'll see you soon in the next one.